actually got paid more per performance or per hour or time, whatever, after having like a full-time professional career than when I was in it. Hey dancers, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to the Confident Dancer YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share with you some expectations versus reality about quitting dancing professionally. And this is of course a reflection on my own experience, having been out of a full-time professional company for about 6 years now. Yeah, I think it's been about 6 years. Full disclosure, if you don't know my story, I do still dance regularly, and I even do professional, like freelance performances from time to time, like maybe once or twice a year, and I find that to be incredibly fulfilling. So I am not at the place where I've like completely quit and I don't dance at all anymore. This is just a reflection on how I fit dance into my life and what have been some of the expectations for what I thought this experience of transitioning would be like, and comparing that to what it's actually been like. And I have a lot of encouragement for you, whether you have also decided to transition from pursuing a professional career in dance full-time, or maybe you are considering it, or you're just looking forward to the future. You're looking ahead and thinking, what will that experience be like? For me, I know it's incredibly normal to feel scared and intimidated about such a big lifestyle change. That's completely normal. Or maybe you are dancing, maybe you're in high school and you're just thinking, okay, I think I'm not really good at dance, maybe in college or after that, so what's life going to be like for me? Of course, your life is going to be different than mine, but I do want to share some refreshing encouragements with you that I've also shared in common with many of my friends that I've watched go through this change in lifestyle. So I hope you are encouraged by this video. So the first thing I really thought I would care about that I have not cared about as much, or I thought I would be super discouraged about this, and it hasn't been that bad, is the changes I've seen in my body. Now, of course, to be completely honest, there was a transitional time that did have some difficulties with it, where I was dancing full-time, like 6 hours a day or so, going from that to not dancing so much. That was scary. I was honestly really sensitive at that time about how I looked, and I was scared about how my body was changing. So yeah, there was definitely a time where I wrestled with that, and I felt a lot of emotion come up, or shame about my body changing, and I did make videos about that several years ago, so you can scroll down through my video library and find those. I was very honest about that process, but the reason why I can share with you now it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be is because that did last for a short time, maybe a year, maybe up to 2 years. I did experience like very infrequent residual moments, like, oh my gosh, I wish I looked like I did back then, or feeling not as beautiful as I felt before. But I can share honestly that I knew from the beginning of making that change to not dancing full-time anymore, I knew that this is something that I was so intent on resolving and working through, because I knew that I had my whole life ahead of me, and I just knew that it would be so unkind to myself to live my entire life trying to look like I did as a 22-year-old in the peak shape of my life. That's even subjective. Lowest body fat, most muscle definition. Sure, we could say it that way. I knew it would just be so unkind to hold myself to that standard forever and see that as the epitome of beauty for me, because I would just set myself up to feel not beautiful and just really bad about myself forever. So I will say what really helped me is knowing that that is something I'm going to be working on. And what I'm going to be working on is not putting my energy into looking like I did, but rather loving the version of me that is physically reflecting this new life that I really enjoy. And something that really, really helped was deeply enjoying the life I was building and seeing that as good, and learning this sense of balance of like, okay, ballet is no longer my entire life anymore. So I'm not going to try to order every single aspect of myself and my existence around that anymore. And that also includes my body. The last thing I'll say on this point is that myself and also friends I've had who we've shared this experience together and been vulnerable with each other about it, all of us have gone through this time where physically, like, we're changing and we feel weird or uncomfortable in our new body, and we maybe are kind of figuring out how we want to dress, if we want to dress the same or different, whatever. And that, I really believe, is temporary. It's been true for me, it's been true for others. There's this phase that we've all settled into where it's like our body kind of finds a new homeostasis, like a new normal, and that starts to look really, like, I find my body to be beautiful now. And maybe if I put my like 22-year-old brain in my brain like right now and saw myself, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so different. But there was a time where I felt awkward in my own body and I was like changing, but now it's leveled out in a way, and I've gotten used to the way I look, and I've seen more muscle definition like at this new size in a way. I don't know if this is making sense, but yeah, I feel like my body has just kind of found a new normal, and I've learned to really love and appreciate that. Another thing I thought I would have such a hard time accepting is my reduction in strength and technical skill. I knew that that was just going to be inevitable because I just simply wasn't going to dance as much as I did before with a new job and a new life. But one thing that really, really helped me in accepting this, and now I genuinely don't have a problem with it, is again, really enjoying the new life that I've built and focusing so much on like seeing any change in skill level as a reflection of like accepting this has actually afforded me the new life I have. And sure, that takes time perhaps to settle into your new life and make it something you really enjoy. So again, it's totally normal to have this awkward transition time where you're like, whoa, all this is so new. But even the transition itself was a quite exciting time because I felt like, oh my gosh, my life isn't ruled by ballet anymore and trying to get into a company or maintain a contract. And so the world is my oyster, and that's going to come with challenges, but it also comes with so much openness and freedom to lead myself in creating this new life from scratch in a way that I wasn't as able to do if I wanted to choose to be in ballet. And another thing that has really helped is just owning everything as a conscious choice. Like, I am consciously choosing to let my body change in order to help me have balance in this new life that I'm living. I am choosing to allow myself to not prioritize technical training and maintaining or enhancing my technique or whatever in order to help me prioritize these new things that are important to me in life. So I was surprised by how that transition wasn't nearly as hard or long lasting as I thought it was going to be. I thought I would just be like perpetually like disappointed, but not at all. And I've learned such a different approach to dancing that's actually way easier and full of a lot more flow and artistry. Also because I'm not taking dances seriously. I cannot tell you how enjoyable it is to take class without feeling like every mistake means so much about me or reflects my potential or value as a person. Like, being able to just dance without taking it so seriously in some ways actually helps me to dance better, especially maybe not in terms of like strength, but artistry and efficiency and how much energy I'm putting into the movements. Yes, it definitely helped with that. I also thought I would have a really hard time feeling isolated from the dance community, and that was true for a time. However, finding local classes in my area, like drop-in classes, finding other adults, and also having this online community. You don't have to have a YouTube channel, by the way, or like a big Instagram account to build community. Making connections through Instagram and like finding little pen pals just through like messaging other dancers who are doing something similar to me, or also transitioning or going through an injury. Like at the time I was going through an injury, that was such a helpful way for me to feel connected at least a little bit to other people who understand my experience as a dancer. And I did end up over time finding friends in person and, like I said, online, who either still dance professionally, but we have a lot in common, or we really click in our personalities. And I've also found friends in person who have stepped away from a professional career, and some friends have stepped back into it for a time, and we've gotten to just share so many experiences of like loving ballet, but also not living for it totally. really anymore. And just with time and intention to seek these people out, I have found a community and a sense of belonging that's really, really important. And I will say, I would love to encourage anyone who's transitioning away from dancing full-time to be intentional about finding community. And that might look different for you at different points. Like maybe in the beginning, you really want to make friends with non-dancers. Totally recommend that. That's amazing in order to help you kind of establish your new life and new identity as a person. But then I think it is really helpful and healing to make friends with people who understand your kind of former life so that you can also keep that part of you alive in whatever way feels appropriate and healthy to you. Hey dancers, I hope you're really enjoying the video so far. I just want to briefly mention to you that if you've been struggling with mental blocks like perfectionism, comparison, self-doubt, or just generally noticing that your mind is causing like self-sabotaging behavior, like holding back when you're really wanting to impress or getting super nervous before a performance, in any case or in any way that that's showing up for you, if your mind is holding you back from feeling as happy and as confident as you want to be as you dance, and also if it's holding you back from performing your best consistently, then I want to invite you to consider the Confident Dancer Coaching Program, which is my signature mindset coaching program for dancers that helps you to totally do an overhaul on your mindset and learn the practical mental tools, frameworks, and techniques to build healthy, authentic confidence and really train your mind to help you perform your best consistently as a dancer. So if that's something you're really interested in, I do offer a free 30-minute consultation. So if you want to just try this out, talk through your goals and challenges and see if this work is a fit for you, I absolutely welcome you to visit the link below, visit my website, learn all about my coaching services, and book that free consultation. There is no harm and nothing to lose, so just go for it. So I hope you're enjoying the video, and let's get back into it. Okay, here's another one. I thought I would never be able to really perform again in a fulfilling way, much less get paid for it. That was completely wrong. I'm amazed by how many small companies are out there that actually are doing fun performances and even provide a nice little stipend to perform after just like a couple weeks rehearsal. That's been my experience in Austin where I live. I really enjoy the small company that I dance for. It's called Ventana Ballet. I do performances with them every now and then. And you can just audition on a show-by-show basis. You don't have to commit to a whole season. And I've actually learned from other friends who live in other larger cities, even I'm sure in mid-sized to smaller towns, there are some performance opportunities, even if you perform maybe a soloist role with a student company or something like that. But if you really go looking for it, there are opportunities. And I actually didn't even really go looking for it intentionally. It kind of found me because people would see me dance in an open class and just go, oh, have you heard of this before? They have a casting call. Why don't you go? That's been a really beautiful experience for me. And I'm sure with a little creativity and intention or even networking, you can find opportunities like that for you. Hilariously, I actually got paid more per performance or per hour or time, whatever, after having like a full-time professional career than when I was in it. That's hilarious. And I wasn't even seeking it out. So that just totally blew through this old mentality I had that it's like full-time company life in a small to large size company is like the only way. No, it's not. It is not. Do not be afraid. I also thought I would be obsessive about maintaining consistency in exercise and like physical fitness and all that. And though that's definitely something I had to be conscious of in the beginning because I knew that might be a tendency for me in my old like rigid ballet mentality. Like I always have to look this way. I always have to dance like this and train like this. But I made this decision with myself that ballet and dance in general, no matter what genre I was doing, it is now in my life to serve me. I don't serve it. That boundary is clear, okay? Because looking at the ways in which that old mentality of like, I serve ballet, I try to adjust every little aspect of myself to be good at it and to be accepted into different companies or whatever, be liked by a certain director. I was just so clear on how that was detrimental to me in my life that I just did not desire to live like that anymore. Living it out wasn't super clear cut in every moment or easy, no, but the decision and the commitment to get used to living out that decision that was simple. And lastly, what I want to encourage other dancers to do, if it resonates with you and if the time is right for you in your life, is to find a sense of community around dance in your life. This is not what everyone wants. Like my twin sister, she stopped dancing cold turkey, and that's what she decided to do. And that's the decision she stuck with. For me personally, since dance was a part of my adulthood more than my sister Kelsey, it's just something I wanted to keep around in my life because it's been such a big part of my formation in my life as a person, and finding a community of other artists who are also in touch with who they are as people, and they don't live to dance necessarily. They just incorporate dance as a part of their holistic life. That's been extremely fulfilling to me as a person because I felt that it was super helpful for me to have a cold turkey break from dance for a bit where I wasn't friends or actively maintaining communication with friends who are dancers. I wasn't dancing all the time. Like I had a 6-month period where I was kind of like, okay, I need to establish this new life and just focus on that for a time. And that was great. And I recommend that if it resonates with you. But then incorporating dance back into my life in a way that I consciously chose and created for myself, that was a very beautiful and healing thing for me to kind of realize that I can redefine my relationship with dance instead of wishing it looked like it did in my past, while still honoring the past that I had and thinking I'm so blessed that I had that. So I hope that this video was encouraging to you. I have to hop on a meeting actually right now, so I need to stop filming. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this and these insights in the comments. I'd love to hear. And yeah, again, I hope it encouraged you. So I'll see you in next week's video. Bye.